Welcome to the On Point Podcast, a channel dedicated to helping you be the best hunter you can be. On Point is designed to help motivate and inspire you to get more out of yourself and your gear during your next hunt. If you're looking for information that will directly impact your success and help inspire you to go on new adventures, whether you're hunting with a bow or a rifle, On Point is the channel for you. All right, guys, this week's episode on the podcast, I get to sit down with my brother Gavin and my hunting partner Mitch and talk about a hunt we all got to go on where Gavin drew the Heart Mountain Bighorn sheep tag, which is a prestigious refuge in Oregon. It's a once-in-a-lifetime tag. Literally, if you draw this tag, a sheep tag in Oregon, you can never go on another one in Oregon again. You only get one shot. And what an amazing experience it turned out to be for Mitch and I to be able to join and film along for a couple days. And then after we left, it got really crazy. So Gavin's going to tell the story about how F-16 fighter jets played a role in his bighorn sheep hunt, heat exhaustion, the highs and the lows of just hunting in general. And, man, this hunt was a roller coaster ride for sure. So I really hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in the end. Talk to you soon. Well, I'm ready. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We were doing O's for sound checks, and it got real weird real quick. So I'll let you guys do your own intros then. So who am I sitting down with?
I'm Mitchell Dixon, your hunting partner and friend.
Mm-hmm. And?
Bow hunter extraordinary.
There you go.
Gavin Weaver, your older brother and
Wiser, faster,
stronger,
yeah,
rounder.
So we touched on your bighorn hunt a few episodes ago, and it's one of a lifetime hunt. But then when you add in like F-16s and all these other cool things that happened, you got deserted by some hunting partners.
That was really neat.
Midway through the hunt, which I'm not too proud of. We're gonna come out here smelling like crap, Mitchell.
Nope. Half of my camp left for a general season elk hunt.
Yeah, right. But I want to get into this bighorn hunt because it's once in a lifetime, and then there was some really cool stuff that happened throughout that hunt. So for people that are tuning into this thing, Gavin drew the. Well, what year was it?
2015.
It's already been 2015.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Time flies.
Third year now.
No, well, you sure it was 2015? Because
yeah.
we've been going over to our elk spot for 4 years now.
Yeah, because it was 15, and then 2 years later, Jeff drew Heart Antelope for 16.
Yeah.
Well, last year was 17.
Yeah.
So the year before that was 16, and then 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've been going over to our elk spot for like 4 years now.
Right. It seems weird because hunting season isn't here yet.
Yeah.
But it's 2018.
Oh, okay. Well, you're talking to a guy that graduated in Algebra 2, so. So you had the bighorn tag.
Mm-hmm.
Walk me through the draw process because you weren't even going to put in for it.
Yeah, so I didn't put in for it on my own. I wrote down all of my draw selections on a piece of paper, and my wife puts all of hers on hers.
Uh-huh.
And she came into my work. She said, "Hey, I'm going to go do the draw, but you didn't put your sheep on here." And I was like, well, we're not going to draw anyways. Just save the $8.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our conversation. Tag results come out. I still don't even know that I'm in the running for sheep.
Uh-huh.
And then I log in. I was like, I think you actually let me know that results were out. And so I logged in and I was like, what? Sheep, Heart Mountain, successful. Look to the right. Heart Mountain to the left. Successful to the right. Holy, and then it was like a pageant winning, like fanning my face in tears and yelling and crying and calling everyone night one. And
yeah.
I remember calling a good buddy, Joe, and I was like, dude, best news ever. And we're like 3 weeks away from having our son. And he's like, oh my gosh, was your kid born today? I'm like, no, even better. And he's like, he's like, you drew a sheep tag. I'm like, yes. Oh my gosh. So it was pretty cool that we were on the same page, knowing what would be even better than that. But, yeah, so now my wife was like, you better be this excited when our son's born. And I was like, I promise I will. I spoke out of pocket. I didn't mean it, that kind of thing. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And like, she didn't listen to me. She knew exactly where I would hunt. So she put me in for it at the Fred Meyer store in Roseburg. And got lucky on June 10th.
So if you want to draw a bighorn tag,
You have to put in at Roseburg.
Fred Meyers, and probably a girl there named Stacy or something.
Probably a part-time seasonal.
Probably a person that was in high school and now they're in college.
Paying union dues and got upset about it.
Where's she at? Let's
Go
find her.
visit Nick Least. He is the one.
It was pretty cool to get a tag that you didn't know you were in for.
This is I mean, and you went over there and you scouted a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And for folks that don't know, Heart Mountain is obviously Eastern Oregon, but you're hunting California big rams, rams, and those are a little bit smaller than the Rocky Mountain rams, right?
Yeah, pretty significantly smaller.
So what's a good ram on Heart Mountain?
I think the average is like 146 over like the last 5 or 6 years. So 150 is kind of the number to break.
Okay.
I think someone shot one that was 160 or better last year. And there's probably a couple more up there, but 150 to 160 is the target.
And so when you draw the tag, are you required to go to those classes? Tell me what the classes were and everything.
There's a FNAS class in the Dalles, and essentially it's a group organization that helps educate you on your sheep hunts, what to look for, how to judge them, age class. Mm-hmm. They have prior sheep hunters there that have hunted before, and they give their experiences and what they did wrong, and what they could have done better. And it's just all the biologists for Oregon are in the area too, and they actually have like dedicated one. Like I sat down with my biologist for half hour, 45 minutes, him and I only, looking at maps, circling. There are 10 rams here. There are 15 rams here. Yeah. The last time I did my flyover or whatever it was. So it was really cool to meet other sheep hunters and then talk to the biologist specifically to your area.
Mm. And so how many times did you go over there and go scout, and did you find anything worth keeping track of?
3 or 4 scouting trips maybe.
Yeah.
Not too many. And then there
6 hours apiece one way.
Yeah, it's a drive, and then it would be a weekend trip. So, I mean, it's a long weekend. There was a ram there that we'll talk about later that caught my attention, and then there was a handful of other second-place applicants that ended up doing the job, not tagging the ram I wanted. But it's pretty cool to start, there he is, and then seeing him over and over and over again and having hours of video and photos and helping your kids are helping name the rams, and they all like minions, so every ram had like a minion name, like Bob and Dave and Kevin and all that stuff. So it was pretty cool.
So go through the scouting process. I mean, because this is really big country. I mean, we'll go through what happened to my feet later in the process, but it's a really demanding country. I mean, when we arrived and we went hunting for the couple days, we were worn out. I was worn out anyways, and it was some seriously steep country.
That first hunt we did was pretty no joke.
The one up behind camp.
Yeah, below the cliff.
Yeah, that was some serious stuff.
Yeah, just to see a bunch of ewes.
Yeah, we saw a bunch.
We didn't see any rams.
See like 40-something ewes.
Yeah, it was
there
bad.
Or something like that. Yeah. And antelope on like really weird terrain for antelope.
Yeah, that was an awful hunt. But so day one, I go over with Jeff Sebastian, and we get there at like, I don't know, I want to say it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. Mm-hmm. Daylight's in 3 or 4 hours or whatever it is, 2-3 hours. And we don't know where to go. We don't know where to set up camp yet. So we just park at the headquarter, like general parking area where you'd walk in to go talk to the guy. Mm-hmm. And they've got like this bright white parking light. And of course we park right under it. Can't sleep. He snores super loud.
Yes, he
does.
Sleep
inside the pickup. So I don't sleep hardly at all after driving all night and get up and go out Poker Jim Ridge, park the truck, and start our scouting from there. So it was pretty cool to see your first rams when we walked up on the flat. That Poker Jim Ridge is interesting because it has like a lot of false tops. Like you think you made it, and then there's another rise, and then you thought, that's the last rise, and then you do that like 4 or 5 times, and you finally get on top. And Jeff was the first one to spot him, and there was probably 8 or 10 rams in that group. And now knowing the one I shot, there was probably 1, maybe 2 in that group of 10 on Poker Jim that were bigger than the one that I ended up harvesting. But it was just really exciting to see your first ram. Yeah.
So how do you know a good ram when you see one? How are you judging these things, and what would be basically a good ram?
So some of the tips, I guess, would be don't judge them from behind. Try to get side and front profiles.
Really?
Making sure that there's a super narrow gap between their bases on top of their head, so less than an inch and a half or less.
What's a good circumference for a base?
I'm trying to remember what ours were. I want to say they were close to 14 inches, like 13 and 7/8 inch bases,
Which is big.
which is good. Yeah, and it ended up being, I think there were 7.5 and an 8.5-year-old rams are the ones that myself and the non-resident ended up harvesting. But so that, and then it depends on what you want. Like, so mine has lamb tips that kind of come out and flare out to the side that weren't broomed off. And the other non-resident ram that was harvested was super broomed off, which meant he had really great mass all the way down, but his horn length wasn't as long. So there's a lot of variety in there if you want a lamb tipped one that didn't broom off, or if you wanted a broom off ram.
And so you're talking about this, and that's another part of the story that we got to get into here is the out-of-state resident. What was his name?
Eric.
So you guys, you took a really big chance on that one, man, and I can't say I would have done that too, bringing in another guy on a once-in-a-lifetime hunt that you don't know that could totally stab you in the back.
Yeah, it was like, so I didn't do it just, oh, I'm going to reach out to this guy. This is so awesome. And I'm going to tell him all the sheep I'm finding and let him know like GPS locations just based on a whim. I got in touch with a guy who hunted hart a few years prior to me named Dave Smith. And he owns DSD decoys in Portland. So him and I talked a lot through the summer. And it was like, what do you think I should do? Like, I want to hunt these sheep. I don't want anyone else in there that's going to mess it up. I'm going to get super upset if something happens. So Dave and I were pretty much just like, be full disclosure, befriend the guy, be super nice, introduce him like to your fan, like just kill him with kindness and hopefully get the respect in return. And it worked out really well.
And so you guys ended up hunting together, right?
Yeah, we actually met for the first time the night before season started at his camp. And it was kind of like, hi, I'm Gavin. Hi, I'm Eric. But we've been talking for June, July, August, September, almost 3 months.
Really?
Every week. And it's like, hey, I saw this many, and I'd shoot him a text, and oh, awesome, because he lives in Snohomish, Washington. So he's not going to get down for a scouting trip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he arrived a few days before season and did some scouting and didn't see any sheep. So he was getting kind of in a panic mode. It's like, it's all right, we'll find them. We know where they're at.
Yeah, and he was there with his dad, too, I think.
Yeah, and it was really weird because the night before season it snowed. It was just like, okay, where are they? Yeah, so it kind of just changed everything right out the gate.
Right. So so let's go over day one. Mitch and I drive. What time did we get there?
It was still daylight.
It was still daylight before dinner.
Barely daylight.
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
I remember we were losing it on that long straight stretch out to Hard Mountain, and then you take your left, and we passed them once, I think.
We probably did.
And turned back around, and it was just getting dark.
Yeah.
Went straight to bed. I remember that.
Yeah. And we slept in your guys' RV.
Oh, yeah. That was like a sleep 6, but we had like 8 or 9 people in there.
Yeah, I slept on the floor next to the vent, and I was nice and warm, which stole the heat from everybody else.
And your dad?
Or the coolness. No, it was coolness, right? Or I stole the vent from everybody else anyways. That's how I roll.
It snowed the night before.
Yeah, it was pretty
cold.
Yeah. And then we get up and we go hunting.
Yeah, so we go hunting and hike. We did a hunt where we had seen a few sheep, but not a ton, and just to kind of get a game plan and more of like another scouting trip almost to be like, hey, they're not where they had been. Let's go see if they're somewhere else. And, of course, they weren't, and that was a huge hike, way big hike around camp below the cliffs, and ended up, I don't think we saw a ram. I don't recall, but I don't think we saw a ram, or if we did, they were small.
We didn't, yeah. Nothing even worth even thinking about shooting.
Yeah.
That I remember. You remember anything?
No, but I remember, I think it was your dad that was like, we saw the first sheep. We saw that first sheep, and he's like, shoot him. I'm like, shoot him.
There's a good one. I'll say you.
It's got horns.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we can do better.
Not everybody went to a class.
Well, he was a blast to have there, though.
It was fun.
He didn't like that hike, man.
No.
Oh my gosh! I thought that was going to kill him on the way down.
He had to split out early.
I had to bail on you guys to make sure he got out of there. And when I caught up with him, he didn't know what to do.
He chose the worst path down the mountain.
We made it down there. We had to clear a lot of brush, and he could barely walk.
Oh, Jesus.
I felt so bad.
Yeah.
Because that was like hunt number 1.
Yeah, and he's got bad legs, shoulders, back, everything.
That was cool, though, that he wanted to go and that he went up there.
No, he was a sport about it until about the end of the first hunt.
Day 1, done.
We started from that, up on top, and we kind of just worked our way towards above camp. And when it was all said and done, we were trying to get back to camp. you can see it, and it's like 4 miles away.
Yeah.
And
Well,
about
it's not very far.
700 feet elevation difference or something.
Yeah.
It's like, that's where we got to go.
Yeah.
And there's nothing but rock faces and canyons and,
If
and
I remember
cliffs.
right, I think I remember you either watching you guys come down or did you beat us?
I think we beat you
I
guys.
think they
Because I
beat us, but we could look back and see where they
see
came
what they
down
came
that
down. I'm
V.
like, what in the heck were they doing?
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
Because it wasn't easy
that
where we
was
came
tough.
down either. I mean, it was all downhill and
Yeah.
pretty darn steep where we even came down.
I'm a slow walker. I think I was the last one back.
Yeah, well, I was running up and down the hills because I was trying to get all the footage necessary to get. I mean, I was beat.
Yeah.
But so day one turned up like a bunch of
Lambs and ewes.
and then a bunch of antelope that were in no man's land for antelope, above and below cliffs on these little flat spots.
Yeah, not typical nice
Yeah.
flat places.
No. And we went from pretty much heroes to zeros real quick as far as our confidence level.
Yeah, it was. Holy crap! What do we do now?
This might not be as easy as we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, so day 2,
Yeah.
we start early and go out Poker Jim Ridge to go try to find those 8 or 10 rams that I had got tabs on before.
And that's quite a walk from the truck just
That's
to
a
the
long
rim.
walk, too. That was like 4 to 5 miles,
Yeah, I was
6
gonna say,
miles
it
round
was
trip.
probably 5 miles.
Round trip.
At least that. And then,
Yeah.
like he was saying, false horizons over and over and over and
Yeah.
over again. And then
Right.
we get a shock to the system, and it was a lot faster on the way out.
Yeah, that was so we're sitting there, and we had gone way down where we worked our way down Poker Jim Ridge, and we're sitting down kind of by a guzzler tucked into the shade a little bit. I think some of us might have been sleeping, I'm not sure, snacking, and all you see is this dust cloud coming down, and it's my mom and a Nissan pickup.
Breaking about
Baja
4 shocks.
500. Yeah, broke every shock on that
I think
pickup.
they needed to buy 3 shocks after that.
I probably still do. I don't think they did. And then
Oh, man.
turn on the radio, and it's like, are you trying to get a hold of us? And then, yeah, we found Bob. And Bob is the target sheep that we wanted to go after.
Probably 155, 157.
He's probably close to 160 maybe.
Yeah.
But he just very symmetrical, great mass all the way. It was just a beautiful representative of the sheep that are on the mountain.
He was the ram in that
He was the
group.
ram of the group. He was the stud of the group.
Yep.
And so it's like, oh my gosh, they found Bob. So it's get our gear and back to the truck as fast as we can. And then there's 3 or 4 rigs parked on the side of the road by the time we're there, and get out, and everyone's in lawn chairs and staring up at the mountain. And there's Bob with his 4 or 5 buddies.
Below some rim rock, flat. The perfect spot.
The perfect spot. They were bedded up in some shade, and the sun was going to keep moving, and they were going to stay in the shade. And eventually you could see that the shade was going to run out, and they were going to have to move.
Yeah.
But we made a move before that and got all the way up, and I think it was 226 yards, I think. And it's hard to set up shooting sticks in shale. Right. It just didn't work. And
you should probably talk about the gun. Too.
Yeah, so my 270, I shoot a Ruger with a Tang safety 270, old school style, just regular old Ruger 270. And I don't know what happened with it, but before I went on the stock, it was just kind of going over all the gear, and my scope mounts had loosened. Something happened.
Right.
Screw back. Something happened where there was movement or play in the scope. So then I borrowed a rifle, hadn't shot it yet, but it was one of those, I need a gun and we need to go.
Right.
And grabbed the gun, and myself, Garrett, and Eric made a big half moon around the sheep, got up almost exactly across from them. Wind was good, tried to be as quiet as you can with shale and just sliding down, and I was trying to get the sticks in place, and it was going to be, I'll shoot first, hopefully either right as he stands up out of his bed and not rushed, and then Eric dumps the next one.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, nope, no waiting now, here they go. And I just remember blatantly just going sticks as quick as I could, gun, safety off, going from his backside to his front, pulling the trigger and sailing one. Probably the most heartbreaking situation, because I've had, I don't know, 6 or 8 people there to help pack. We could have taken them out whole to the road. I mean, it was just an ideal situation. And then it sounded like World War II with me and Eric just boom, 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 boom. And result was 0 rams, and probably don't recall ever seeing Bob again.
A lot of broken spirits.
Yeah, it was day 2. And
do we ever see that herd again?
No.
Yeah, no.
I talked to someone else, a hiker who went up on top and had seen him.
Really?
Yep. And they're like describing them, like, yeah, and how many were? Yep, cool. So They're all up there on top alive, but we didn't see them again.
No. So, the gun that we can blame Mitchell because it was his gun that he
No one's fault. Just
No,
it's just part of not shooting it.
just
before
using a gun that you're not familiar
I
with.
seem to remember checking it afterwards. It was all checked out.
I'm sure it was on.
No,
I'm sure
it was on. It was on.
It's just when you shoulder it and it's not your rifle and you don't practice with it was what I should have done, honestly. Looking back again, I should have taken my 270, driven 3 miles down the road, screwed this thing back in, shot it, and went back up and killed him. He probably would have been right there.
You probably would have had enough time too.
Probably.
Yeah.
But you don't know that until it's too late. And so I was like, well, I have a rifle here, and I'm confident that it's going to be on.
Yeah, it's only 200-something yards.
220 yards.
Yeah.
And boom, right up top.
Yeah. So I was there, and I got all that on film and everything. That was heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, I don't even watch it anymore.
So after that, you and Eric both swung and missed.
Yep.
And now we're like, what the heck are we going to do? Those were the only rams we've seen. Those are the only ones that we knew about, me and Mitch. And we have a killer tip on some general elk hunting.
It's just, burning tags in your pocket.
Yeah, and we bailed. There's no other good way to say it.
But it was pretty cool.
Did we bail that night?
I think so. It was like get home and go.
Yeah.
And I think you don't know.
No, we did leave that night.
We did leave that night.
I think so. It was like
pack. That was the evening when all this was going down. We left
that morning.
I don't know. It was like pack everything up, go, and like
it was still pretty early. It was around noon.
Yeah, it was.
Whole ass from poker gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was pretty cool though that you guys got to see what like a real ram.
Yeah.
Opposed to the lambs and use them. It was like these are what we're after.
But hindsight, I wish we would have stayed because it got good.
It got good and it got exhausting, tiring, and
I could have used 2 extra bags.
I don't know that I've ever been that exhausted and so dehydrated and like no sweat out of a hunt ever.
Yeah. So me and Mitch take off. We go north to go elk hunting.
Which you guys killed or did not kill?
By the way, was the best elk hunting time I've ever had, period. Yeah. It was insane. We didn't kill anything.
Game changer, though.
But it was, game changer. But it was the craziest, 4 days of elk hunting I've ever had, period.
I just hope
Not that justifies it, but...
I just hope either one of you draw a Bighorn sheep tag and I leave for like a sage grouse permit or something like that.
You got to give us 2 days.
You got to give us 2 days.
I'll give you 2 days.
If we get a chance.
Day and a half.
That's not the proudest moment in my hunting career.
It's okay. It worked out.
We live and learn. So now you're down to you, Jeff, and Eric.
Yeah.
Eric's dad's not really good to pack.
My wife leaves the next day.
Yeah.
And takes the kids. How dare she? My buddy Joe leaves the next day.
Oh, yeah.
You guys both leave. Dave, the dad, leaves. So I lost 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
The next day. So
see how that works? You miss a ram, you lose all your friends.
Yeah. He can't hit anything. We're gone.
Right.
So then it's Mom, Jeff, myself, and Eric and his dad.
Yeah.
And his dad's at an age where he'd be really good for a shuttle run service. He's a great guy, loves to hunt, but he didn't need to be out there beating his body up. So he was moving rigs and being a great help. Absolutely, but not on the hiking or the packing part.
Yeah. So what happened after we left?
So Saturday, no sheep. Sunday, sheep miss. Monday, take a day off. Did not hunt.
So we left on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys left Sunday. So
you didn't even hunt. That next day. I think that's why we chose to leave. It's like, well, we're not even going to hunt for another day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because we weren't going to hunt till Tuesday, and so
that helps justify our
You only missed 1 day of hunting.
Yeah. And we're very amateur bow hunters.
We need all the time.
You needed that whole week to not kill.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I got from the class and talking to other sheep hunters, and I would repeat to anyone that talked to me about sheep hunting, was take day 3 off. Monday was just physically whooped us. Mm-hmm. Or I'm sorry, Saturday physically whooped me. Sunday, Sunday was a emotionally draining, terrible, miss the sheep of my lifetime.
Yeah.
Like absolutely deflating cloud zero. So take the 3rd day off or you'll mentally and physically burn yourself out. So good thing about Hurt Mountain is you have the hot springs there. I mean, like there was I woke up, I had a great breakfast.
Those were sweet.
Had an awesome breakfast, no pressure. I did put some glass on the mountain just to be like, okay,
it did something.
There's a sheep. Yeah, cool, no, cool. and then go soak in the tub, hot springs for a while.
Which was seriously nice, man.
Come back down, take a nap. I mean, there was absolutely zero pressure on us to hunt that next day, because the next day we met at 3:30 in the morning to start our long hike on the backside. But it was just an absolute zero pressure day, and you mentally, even though you're only hunting 2 days, it whooped me the first 2 days.
My feet, and this is where I talked about boots in the 2 podcasts ago. My feet were done, like hamburger, like disgusting. That's what made me buy a premium boot. You know, Mitch was making fun of me. He's like, "You bought a $400 boot," and I was like,
"You got a deal on a $400 boot."
Yeah. No, I paid full pop.
Full pop.
Yeah,
okay.
$450 or something like that. But he's like, you need them because he saw how bad I was just complaining the whole time we were walking around elk hunting. My feet hurt. And then, but after that, I started getting the nicer boots. But it seriously wore us out. We didn't. I don't think we hunted that hard. Did we hunt pretty hard the first day there? Did we go down into the wilderness?
No.
The
first day
we hunted the flats.
I might be getting 2 years mixed up. Because we put up camp in the creek that year. Remember?
In the creek. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hunt.
Yeah, we hunted around.
We didn't get over to that area till...
Took 2 days for us to find the
fourth day or something.
Yeah. But anyways, long story short, this hunt, seriously, you needed that third day. I totally agree with you. Because I was drained. My feet hurt. It was bad. Not a good time.
It was crazy to go from the highs and lows already by day 2. Like, oh my gosh, we found the sheep that I want to kill. Like, this is him. To... holy crap, it didn't happen. What now?
Yeah. It was the shittiest roller coaster hunt I'd ever been on. That. I mean, I'd never seen such highs and lows, period.
I was just glad it wasn't my tag.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't even want to walk back to the truck. I'm just
really?
Like, what do we do? Like, it was the most deflating feeling I think I've ever had hunting.
On the bright side, you did find a cool rock.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but it's on my mount now.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So go ahead, take us into the next day of hunting.
3:30 in the morning, rendezvous at the Hot Springs campground, and we go up behind Barn Hardy, little gated off road there, and the plan is to make good ground in the dark and be on the cliffs, kind of overlooking the camp, like DeGarmo area and Hart and all those over there. And so we get way back in there and walk for a couple hours and sit down, and it was super cool because it's still dark. And then like every once in a while you'll see like a nice pronghorn buck skyline himself, a shooting star here, a satellite there, this, that. And then it's daylight, and then you're like, and there should be sheep here. And you look down, no sheep. And all we would do is just bump over the edge, look for a half hour, 45 minutes, back out a couple hundred yards, quarter mile, whatever it is, bump over and look, bump over and look, bump over and look. And then it's getting a little later in the day. I don't remember exactly the time. Probably after 12, maybe 1 or 2.
And how hot's it getting?
It's hot. And I don't remember the temps, but when you're I can't remember what the top up there is, like 8,400 feet or something like that.
Yeah.
So at 8,000 feet, everything feels a little bit warmer than it would maybe at 500. But
right.
We finally get to like this little rock outcropping, and it's got kind of like a dugout cave type thing. And just to avoid the sun and try to have a snack and cool area, we kind of hide out there, and then the jets show up, and that's where it gets pretty awesome.
Tell me about what happened there, because I was like, no, that didn't happen.
I know anyone's like, BS.
But
So in Klamath Falls, there's Kingsley Field, which is they've got some type of military presence over there, and they have a airport where they fly out of, and they have their jets, and they do a lot of trainings in the southeast Oregon corner of the state, and flying over the top of Hart Mountain Refuge happens to be one of them. And there was 2 of them flying, one quite a bit north of us, and then one kind of flying right over the top of us. And the one up north doesn't really show us any attention and takes off. And then this other one, you know that he sees us because he makes like, I don't remember, a couple laps. And he goes way north, heads west, goes south, comes back, and then goes again. And then he does this 2 or 3 times. And then we're like, well, he must see us or something. Like he's giving us a show. Like, that's really cool. Part of the benefit of being up here is cool. We're going to watch a really great show. And then he comes in pretty low, lower than I would have thought a pilot should be flying over there, but comes in pretty low and then shoots a flare and just psh, and I'm like,
So he flies low and shoots a flare like upside down?
yeah, he goes upside down and
Really?
dumps a flare.
That's cool.
And I was like, wow, that was pretty neat. And then we're kind of just sitting there and we're like, well, we all think, there's three of us, me, Jeff, and Eric. We're like, we think he knows that we're here. And it's like, do you think, then we're starting to like do this connect the dot thing. Do you think he knows we're hunting? We're like, maybe not. Do you think he knows we're hunting sheep? And then it's just like,
well, when you're desperate.
yeah. When you're like, the low of the low, you're like making up stories in your mind. It's like,
yeah.
Do you think he knows we're hunting? That we're hunting sheep, and did he spot sheep and he shot a flare over the top of the sheep? Like, okay, then you start kind of like, and then it's just like 10 or 15 minutes of just talking about it, and it's like, nah, okay, so let's put on our packs, and then we actually get packs put on completely, buckle down, and then we look, and we're like, we have to look under where the smoke of that flare is. We just have, like, we'll never know if he helped us or not. And so Eric and I pop over, and Eric,
how far was it from you?
The sheep?
No, the flare.
Quarter mile to the north.
Oh, really?
It was close.
Okay.
But where we're sitting, it's a big kind of ridge, and we're not skyline, so we can't see the other side of the ridge at all. And so we're probably quarter mile, maybe half a mile, and but we can't see anything in this big bowl. And under the smoke of the flare, in which we should have looked over the side, apparently the entire time there was a couple rams feeding. So there's 3 rams walking north that we can see almost immediately under like the smoke flare.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like, holy Nikes, this guy he knows we're hunting now. We know that.
He's got some serious
Yeah,
eyes.
he knows I was like, well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, how in the heck is he spotting those things going
right.
that fast? Like,
there's a reason he's flying that jet.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Yeah.
And so it was like, he knows we're hunting. He knows we're hunting sheep, and he found sheep for us. Oh my gosh. So then it's like, holy crap. Like,
that's
there's
crazy.
and I tell people, I was like, that's my taxpayer money at work. Finally, like, thank you so much. And so the plan is like, okay, well, there's rams, and they're 3/4 curl, and anything that big on that Heart Mountain is going to be 150 or better. That's kind of the general guidelines that we were getting. And so we make a big, again, half moon to get the wind right, to get out in front of them. We drop all of our packs. I take a rangefinder, shooting sticks, and my 270. And then Eric takes shooting sticks and 270, or I don't know if he had shooting sticks. No, he had a bipod on his. He had no shooting sticks. And we leave Jeff in like this dry lake bed up on the flat. And he ended up falling asleep. He doesn't help her. Like, so we leave him there, and we snake around, and we get under this like really big rock outcropping where it's all shadowed in, like no one can see us, like, and we're gonna work our way, and we're like, all right, they're gonna be right here. And we pop over the edge, and there's nothing, and it's like, okay, well, they didn't go at the bottom, they didn't get past us on the high end here. They must not have made it this far. So it's like, let's just stop, because like, you think you're 30 seconds from shooting a sheep, you're out of breath. Like, the excitement level is so high that, like, you're not even moving, but you can't breathe. And so we just take a minute, we compose ourselves, we stop, we think, and we're like, okay, they're going to be right over here. And we're just sitting down, and Eric just happens to look down and, like, catches, like, the reflection of a ram's curl bedded under a juniper. And he's like, holy, there they are. And
how far away?
I want to say I'm trying to remember the range amount, 176, I think.
Oh, so they're close.
Yeah, shootable. So 176 yards. And so instantly, like, a rock placed by God for Eric is right there for him to lay his rifle on perfectly. So his ram is bedded absolutely broadside under a juniper in the shade, perfectly looking just kind of out and down around the basin, and we're up above him. And then so I spend what feels like 10 or 15 minutes trying to get shooting sticks, trying to get something in place to shoot. There's another ram at the nose end of his nose, of Eric's ram's nose. There's another one laying perpendicular to him, almost facing straight up the hill. And so I end up shooting at this one. So I get 10 to 15 minutes, and we finally, it was only a few minutes, get everything situated. And the whole entire time throughout the hunt, Eric and I were going, wouldn't it be cool to shoot two at the same time? And it's like, well, what would that be like? And we're like, all right, 1, 2, 3, boom. 1, 2, 3, boom. And we would say this to each other over and over and over while we're hiking and walking and just randomly. Hey, Eric, 1, 2, 3, boom. Just to try to build the rhythm. And so they're both bedded there. Again, his is broadside, facing to the south, and mine is laying facing east. And so I look at him. He looks at me. You ready?
Mm.
Yep, I'm ready. 1, 2, 3, boom. His takes the 270 right to the shoulder. He tries to get up, so he hits him one more time.
Mm-hmm.
And his tucks under the juniper that his was already laying under. Mine took a bullet through the shoulder, stood up, and then did the whole like drunk head wobble, 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 and fell over backwards down a cliff, down a rock shell, into the bottom of the canyon.
Oh,
Classic.
Jesus.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh, well, that's cool. They couldn't have died right next to each other.
Yeah. How far did it fall?
From where he got hit to where he stopped,
Yeah.
100 yards.
Oh, wow. That's pretty far.
Yeah. It wasn't like a straight, it was like almost like a slide, like not like straight down fell off a cliff, but like he rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled down the shell.
Well, didn't you have
rock.
to shoot like around his horn or through his horn? or
Yeah,
something
no,
like
I
that?
had to shoot through the horn. And I even told Eric before we did, and I was like, dude, the only shot, because he was facing to the east, but he was like head kind of down, and the curl of the horn was blocking the shoulder. And I told Eric, I said, I have to put it through his horn. Like, there's no, I have no other ethical, vile shot that I could do. And you can see where the 270 grazed through the horn and punched him right in the shoulder.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. But it was like, I told Eric before I pulled the trigger, I was like, this is it. And it was really interesting because if we had more tag holders there, we could have shot more sheep. Because what we didn't know was there was a total of 5 or 6 sheep bedded there. We only saw those 2. And then we were like, well, good enough for us. You know, I think his is, I can't remember what his scored. I think we both wanted 150s. And I think it was like green. I think his green scored like 152 and mine green scored 150. So they were both right on the, and we're like, man, good enough for us. And we were both just beyond excited that each other were successful. But it was so cool because after the 1, 2, 3, boom, both of us didn't know the other guy shot.
Oh, really?
It was so in unison, like that. It was just like, did you shoot? Because I shot. You know, it's like, and it was pretty cool because like then it was like hugging and yelling and whooping and hollering and like the most just
relief. Probably.
Yeah, it was such a weird feeling because it's like super excitable. Oh my gosh, I just satisfied a once in a lifetime tag. Great story, awesome hunt, good people, and then at the same time the immediate realization is I can never do this again. Was almost like as strong of a feeling of excitement. Yeah, it was like in Oregon. I could never do this again. Yeah. And so it's kind of like, this is the pinnacle of what I can do here. Yeah. So it was like, and it's over. Then the packing and all that. But, yeah, so we shoot the sheep. We don't go down and get them right away. We let them, expire there, and they were done right away. But just take a minute, soak it in, and we go up and get Jeff. And we've all been working super hard. It's super hot, hiking a lot. And he's passed out. And it's like, hey, Jeff. Hey, Jeff. And then like, I'm like, oh man.
Probably sunburn.
Does he have like heat stroke or something? Like, we go up and kick him. And then he finally starts like stirring around. Hey guys. And I was like, hey, we found the sheep. And he's like, did you shoot him? I'm like, yeah. You get him? No. What? I missed again. Are you kidding me? And then he got into that super grouchy, like, instant. Really? Are you serious, guy? And like, no, we got him. Let's go. Kind of thing. We got all the packs. And
by the end of it, you're going to wish you missed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Taking care of one sheep that far back is a chore.
Now, how big are these things?
They're way bigger than I think anyone would think of a sheep. Like, and I'm not saying like they're bigger than any rocket, but like they're fairly large in size.
Bigger than a mule deer?
Oh yeah. Probably this like of a big mule deer. And as far back as we were and in the hole that we were in, it's one of those it's easier just to crawl out than walk out. I mean, that's kind of one of those things. And just taking care of one of them's a chore, and it's like, oh, crap. Now we've got 2. So we quarter his up, and we lay it up in a juniper to try to get some air to it and cool to it. And then we go down to mine, photo op, take care of it. And then as we're taking care of it, this plane flies back over the top. And I was like, oh, cool. Like
a jet?
Yeah, a jet. Another jet comes by. And I'm like, oh, we're talking. I was like, as I'm like standing over my ram with the legs and I'm cleaning him and taking care of him, I was like, oh, I wonder if that's the same guy before. So he makes 2 or 3 passes. And then he comes down into the bowl we're in and he goes upside down. He does like a couple rolls and then stays upside down and shoots like, I don't remember, 5, 6, 7, 8 flyers. Boop, 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 boop,
Really?
right over the top and then takes off.
Oh,
and it's like,
that's so cool.
It was kind of like we all gave him like a thumbs up, as he flies by. And it was like he knew what we were doing, and I think he came in to check on us.
We need to find out that guy's name and buy him a beer.
I thought about like sending him a package of backstrap or something because I still have just a little bit left.
Uh-huh.
And I thought about it since that day, but like at the same time, I was like, man, I don't want to get the guy in trouble.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
He was shooting flares?
he was shooting flares
During fire season?
over Hart Mountain.
Yeah. It was worth it.
Well, so we get all the meat cut up, and we get all the quarters, and we call. So this is the point where we're out of water. We have no more fluids.
Yeah.
We're out, and we end up making a phone call. They go talk to the refuge headquarter guy, Jeff McKay, great guy, and we get permission to have a vehicle driven back there through the closed gate to get our game out.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
How much did that cut off of your hike?
Well,
or pack?
So the instructions were to stay on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So back there is one main road, and off of that one main road, there are spur roads.
Mm-hmm.
The communication was lost where don't take a spur road.
Oh.
So my definition of a road is a 2-lane track that is pre-existing prior to me being there. So, and it was evident that other people had driven this somehow. I don't know whose, refuge vehicles or whatever. That was a spur road. So the vehicle got driven all the way out the spur, which is a few miles in there, and we loaded it up. Well, they came up there and saw that we weren't on the main road. Mm-hmm. So instead of having us pack the rest of the meat back to the truck immediately had to be taken out.
Really?
So then we had to then go back and get the rest of the head and the rest of the quarters and then hike them all the way out to the gate.
Oh, they said, sorry, now you have to go all the way out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So now that you got your truck back here and you didn't stay on the main 2-track, that's not what our expectation was as a refuge, and we want you out of here.
Really?
So it wasn't like hostile or wasn't anything like that. It was just, we had a conversation about the definition of a road and what that would look like, and like everyone was civil about it.
Yeah.
Again, it was such a blessing just to get that first little pack out.
Yeah.
And save us 8 miles round trip. But the last one, we had to go back down because the last thing we took out were the heads. We got all the meat out and everything that we could right away. And then had that taken down to start getting cleaned and went back in for the heads in the last few quarters. But, it's probably 6 miles out, maybe.
Jeez.
And then we're super disoriented. We had no more water left. Underprepared, really. Mm-hmm. And you get up top, and it's crazy when you become so exhausted and fatigued and out of water, like your brain starts playing tricks on you. You're on top of this big flat now. We even had a GPS location of the truck. And we're like, there's no way that's the way to the truck.
Really?
There's no way. Yeah, and it's like, GPS says, go this way. And we're like, no, that can't be right. Something happened. So we went left instead of going right.
Really?
Yeah. Like your mind was like,
oh, geez.
There's no way the truck's over there. I remember that hill. It's dark. You can't tell him. But I was like, there's no way. We came over the top of that. We went left a mile and a half the wrong way.
Oh, geez.
On the way out.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to make up the mile and a half to get back to where you were to then make the other 6 miles. Mm-hmm. And it's like, holy smoke. So, we got out way, 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 way late. But I remember complaining about my feet hurting the whole time. I'm like, I stopped so many times. It was just like, I need a break.
Yeah.
2 minutes. I need a break. 2 minutes.
Well, this ground is so uneven. I rolled my ankle probably 50 times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, legitimately, my ankles would
just buckle
over and over and over and over again.
The crazy thing is, you think 2 days ago I could have shot a sheep visible from pavement.
If you had a 1,000-yard gun, you probably could have done it from the truck.
I could have shot off the hood of the pickup. Yeah, and had 8 people to carry him out for me, and I never would have had to touch him.
Yeah.
And then you do this, and it's just like,
yeah.
It was a super rewarding experience, but it's like, oh my gosh, like so physically and mentally demanding, and just the highs and lows, even after the harvest. Oh, like an emotional rush, like, oh, we get our truck put back here. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be out of here in no time. This is awesome. To, oh, they got to take out 2 shoulders and some back straps. Now we got to get the rest of it out on our back, which is fine. We were planning on doing it, but just to have that mental, oh, we could have our pickups in here now.
Right.
No, you don't.
That sucks.
So it's just kind of, again, miscommunication and some tempers were displayed. But the next day, we all met at the refuge headquarters because they have to drill and tap your ram and tap a number into the back of it for a legal harvest, and then it was checked out by either Fish and Wildlife or a federal employee. And everyone was in good spirits. And
really?
We apologize for the miscommunication. They apologize. So it was no harm, no foul there. It was just everyone left on good terms. But for a minute, it got tense a little bit.
Yeah, I would have been like, well, let's just let us drive out to where we're supposed to be then.
Yeah, just leave the truck at the intersection and we'll walk it. It would have saved us 5 miles.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But again, we shot them back there knowing that we couldn't have the trucks back there.
Yeah.
It was just deflating once the trucks were able to come back.
Right.
To then have to have them turned around.
Well, it's pretty strict there. I mean, you can't even shoot a coyote. You can't even shoot a cougar.
No. I mean, his concern
rattlesnake.
was fire danger, and I get it, fire danger better than most.
Right.
Like, I'm totally aware of all the risks involved there, and I would never want anything to happen, and I totally respect his concerns on not having vehicles in certain areas.
Right.
The main road was nicer than most of the roads on the refuge, but up there, because there's some rough roads in there. But yeah, it was crazy awesome. The fighter pilot, the shoot two at one time, making a lifelong friend with Eric.
Yeah. You guys still keep in touch today?
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah. So can't remember the last time I talked to him. He sent me a picture. Oh, he's like, oh, I got another ram.
Really?
Like, oh, because this guy goes on like amazing hunts all the time. He's like, hey, I got another ram. I'm like, send me a pic. And it was like a Dodge Ram 3500. Like, white, and I was like, oh. Well.
That's fun.
So yeah, it was a few months back. But it's cool to just every once in a while, once every couple months, just drop them a text or a call. And keep in touch. But
so after you guys tagged out, did you hang around the refuge at all or do anything or hit the hot springs up again?
Yeah, we spent an entire day. Like, the thing was like, oh my gosh, that was the worst night ever. We finally got our rams out. Let's just sleep in. Well, in my travel trailer, I picked the wrong place to sleep because I had it facing to where the sun was rising. And I got hit way early in the morning with just sunlight in my face. I was like, oh, time to get up. And then it was get up, go soak in the hot springs. We had put the rams in a trailer to keep them cold. And then take him to Jeff McKay, have him tap, plug, score, measure, which was like really cool to see him go through them, score them. It was really interesting because Eric's ram was a year older than mine. He was broomed off, didn't have lamb tips, but being a year older than mine, my bases on my ram were like 3/4 of an inch bigger than his on both.
Really?
Yeah, which was pretty cool. But his carried much more mass way further throughout the horn.
Yeah.
So mine tapered out real fast. It got narrow real quick, and I lost a lot of points there.
Well, I've always heard that age is what builds big ram or makes big rams, not actually less than genetics. It's more age.
Yeah, you got to get the age on them to carry the mass all the way out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, for mine to be 7.5 and his to be 8.5, and mine to have 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch bigger bases, I was like, because even Jeff, the refuge guy, he was just like, that's not right. Like
really?
he did Eric's first. And then he did mine, and he's like, no, that's not. He like measured the bases of my ram like 4 times. He's like, there's no way. And then we're like, what? He's like, these bases are bigger than that base. And all of us were like, there's no way. That ram, side by side, you wouldn't even think are within 10 inches of each other. But just with the bases and the length and everything, he scored decent. But it was really cool to see him go through the process and take like a drill, drill the back of the horn.
I imagine that's
tap
pretty
in a number.
like, oh crap, he's drilling into my animal.
Yeah, it was like super nerve-wracking because you're like, oh my God, I just worked so hard for this. But I mean, then you think they hit each other all the time and so they're pretty tough.
Right.
So it was like, oh, okay. But I was just like, please don't break, please don't break, please don't break.
Yeah.
But it was really cool, and it was really cool to see him go through all the stuff he did, and then I wrote a little story on it afterward, and then he wrote a story, I think, for Hunt and Fool that got published.
Really?
And Hunt and Fool on it.
You made your own short story book.
Yeah, I have like I don't remember how many page book, but I actually wrote like a book on the hunt, and it was pretty cool. And I actually had a few clients of mine like buy it and bring it in, and I had signed it for them. And, but it was pretty neat because on some of the forums I'm on too, some people, they're like, oh, tell us a story about it. And I wrote this. I was like, here it is. It's a 48-page story. And they're like, you really wrote like a small book on this thing. Like when people joke about people writing books and you actually went and did it. I'm like, well, can't ever do it again. So
yeah. But
it was just.
Well, you sell those like not for a profit or anything. You make it.
I make it free online. Yeah. And so what it's a self-publishing thing. And you can actually put like your own markup price. Like I want the book to sell for this many dollars.
Yeah.
The publishing group automatically takes so much, so you have to market it to where you want to make a profit or where your margin is.
Yeah.
I made a $0 margin, and I made the book free for online. So I was like, I want anyone and everyone who wants to read it and not have to pay for it.
Well, give that thing a shout out real quick so people can go find it.
Yeah, so it's on. We can just Google Heart Mountain. The name of the book is Heart Mountain Bighorn Double Tap.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be I was stranded by my brother on a Bighorn Town.
No, that's on chapter 2. Oh. But no, the book's pretty cool too because it goes through like the draw process. It goes through finding out. It goes through the scouting, and there's some photos included. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. I mean, it goes through everything. But yeah, it was really, really cool. But it was super sad when it was over. But it's like, I never want to do that again, is what I was thinking like 2 days after. I was like, I hurt so bad. And then it's like a year or two later, you're like,
I want to do that again.
I want to do another sheep hunt.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool to share it with the people I had. And I just hope that someone in our family or friends draws another one.
Yeah. Well, we know a family here in town that I think three of them out of that family have got
4.
it. 4 now. And so now they know the Weaver name is in the system. So eventually maybe they'll draw my name. I don't know.
I don't care who gets it.
I'm superstitious when it comes to that stuff.
As long, I would love to just be involved in another one.
Yeah.
There's a guy that I met at the store at Plush, and his buddy drew one this year, and I'm kind of just waiting on
the phone call.
Waiting on a phone call and an invite to come over and show him how to do it over on there. But I mean, I'd be stoked to go on another one. I don't know that. So have drawing Heart Mountain. My wife does not put in for Heart Mountain, not because of how bad or how hard or whatever, but just the quality of sheep. So if my family, my household gets another one, it won't be on Heart.
Yeah.
So
I put in for one this year that had the best odds, and then there's some other reasons to put in for it. I can't remember what it was called, but it had one of the best odds and really nice rams, 170s.
Yeah, I mean, like truly a 150, 160 ram is a beautiful ram, like for California.
Yeah.
They don't have to be that
big.
170.
Yeah.
But
well, even seeing Bob at 157-ish, that was a big ram.
I don't know if he would have gone 160, but he was close.
Yeah, he was pushing it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was bigger. He was definitely bigger than the ones you guys got in every way possible.
Yeah. And then, I think Eric's green scored 154. So, and he was quite a bit bigger than that.
Yeah. So hindsight, what would be some things that you would change going into that or maybe do different?
For just preparation? Or?
Yeah, for just the whole process. If somebody gets this tag, what would be some things that we would have loved to have known prior?
Well, I learned through the scouting process, but to I guess shorten a person's timeline and learning. Like you don't have to camp all the way up top at camp the Heart Springs. We camped at the Triple C or 3C camp, and you could legitimately have a chance of waking up, starting a fire, putting out your lawn chair, spotting a ram from camp, and shooting them from the bottom.
There's
super
a chance.
easy.
There's a chance. A lot of country.
And we saw a bunch of sheep there. And then pack a lot of water, a lot more than you think you're going to need because it sucks when you run out.
Yeah, and good boots.
Good boots. Shooting, realistically, if you can shoot. So, I missed the one at 226 or something, shot the one at like 176. So 250 to 300 yards, be comfortable to shoot out to 300.
Could you get it done in there with a bow, you think?
I know a guy that did do it with a bow.
Really?
Yeah, so it can be done. There's enough broken terrain in there.
Yeah.
We were like 176 or something, and I was like, no need to get any closer.
Yeah.
Let's just do it right. I don't care. If I would have done it with a muzzleloader, I would want to knock off another 50 yards and maybe could have. I don't know. But we're like, 170 and change. We'll do it from here.
Yeah.
I would communicate with other hunters your plan. If you vibe that they would leave you alone. I was super nervous about.
It's a risk.
I was playing pretty tight to the chest for a while, and we actually even met the other Oregon resident hunter, a young kid and his dad, and it was like, what are you doing up here during scouting? Oh, we're just looking. Huh. What are you looking for? Because we're just looking too.
Yeah.
Sheep. Oh, cool. Yeah, us too. And then it's like, I share a little info, you share a little info, I share, and it's like, the child, 12-year-old kid, ended up not killing one.
Yeah.
And so
he wasn't really even into it though. From what I remember.
It didn't seem like it. I think he shot at a few.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So I know and he worked hard.
Yeah.
But maybe that's something to think about for a kid too. Is at 12 years old, that might not be the hunt to put in for. But a lot of people put their kids in, and I would just say make sure your kid's ready.
Yeah.
If you're going to put a 12-year-old through that,
I don't know if I'd put a 12-year-old in for that hunt.
It's almost one of those things. Oh, what are the chances he gets drawn?
Yeah, but
They're pretty darn good for kids. It seems like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, man,
it's almost doing them a disservice because they got the tag, but they're not gonna be able to do what is necessary probably to get them the best
I've
shot.
seen some kids out there that grind, but you have to know your own kid, I guess.
Yeah.
And is this a good time for him to draw the tag or not? Because once you burn that tag up, like, you're done.
Right.
So that was kind of a.
Even if you don't kill one.
I'm not sure. I don't want to test it. So like, I'm gonna have kids hunting pretty soon, and it's like.
That's right.
I don't know that I'd put him in for a sheep tag that early. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
It's weird that my 3-year-old has a point in Montana for sheep.
Really? Your 3-year-old does?
Yeah.
How's that even work?
You have to be 1.
Oh my gosh, I'm moving to Montana.
So my kids.
That's awesome.
What if he drew?
Yeah, what? Point saver.
You have to wait
saver,
to be
I
a
guess.
certain age to hunt.
Okay.
But I can buy him points. So he's already getting points.
Father of the year.
Well, you're welcome. So it's $150 a point.
Can you buy me points for Christmas?
Probably. Actually, they have to be bought in Montana, I think, by September 30th.
Oh, you can buy them for next year, maybe.
October 30th for Wyoming. So.
Speak of him, there he is right there.
Hey, come on in, bud.
So, closing up here, is there anything that you want to add onto the Heart Mountain?
No, it was super awesome. So my son was born on 7/11. 3 weeks after we found out that we drew the tag, I ended up buying a travel trailer for the hunt, which is probably like the most expensive, elaborate purchase you can make for a hunt. But it made it appropriate for the family to come over and sleep and camp, and I think it made a difference.
It made me want to get one.
I've sold it since then.
Because we use that wall tent for most of our stuff, and just having like the nice cooled.
It's pretty nice to be like, there's a shower, there's a bed.
Mitch and I have since upgraded to glamping when we go elk hunting. We have this cabin we rent.
Yeah, less you can worry about that isn't hunting, the better.
Showers, food, electricity, heat if you need it, and your spirits are always high.
That's right.
Yeah, unless you shoot like me and ruin an opportunity like last year.
Well, as long as you keep taking, what is it, Shelby over there?
Yeah.
You guys will be
okay.
okay.
She's the only killer out of the group.
I know.
Mitch got one last year, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show some respect.
I got it done.
Jeez.
You got it done.
Day after her. So
good.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I like Shelby a lot, but when I saw what she did to that bull,
yeah,
it was like, oh, it's on.
Oh, I was happy for her, but part of me was not.
It was super cool to involve the whole family, and having Owen, my oldest, there was awesome, and having my newborn. It was kind of weird having my mom hold my 1-month-old in like blankets in a chair while I'm looking for sheep with my 5-year-old. It's kind of just like surreal to have all your family there, and it was super awesome, and it was really cool. And now he's been talking to me the last week about draws, statistics, and hunts, and so he's getting all jacked up at 7. So in 2 more years, we're going to start building some points for him.
You're going to make Uncle Garrett take you, though, aren't you?
Not if you want to kill anything.
So. So you guys seen the way you shoot, dude.
Say Garrett's a target
well, you're really
killer.
good at finding stuff.
Yeah. Well, you have to be when you miss all the time. Dude, yeah.
Yeah, he's talking
I had to buy all these mounts in here.
Yeah. So it was super awesome, but it was cool, and I hope to go on another one, and maybe Mitchell will draw one, or you'll draw one.
Yeah, well.
When my kid's 20 and has 17 points, maybe he'll draw something.
Yeah.
Not you. You can't have 20 points.
Well, thanks, man, for coming on here. I wanted to air out this whole Bighorn thing because it's such an epic experience, and not using that word lightly. Who else has a F-16 fighter jet story mixed in with their Bighorn hunt and actually used it to kill a Bighorn? It
was wicked awesome, and the fact that he came back to say, like, good job.
Yeah.
And shoot, like, 6-7 more flares over the top.
He's probably thinking, hey, Captain, I forgot to fly over here.
I gotta go check. And I was like, I talked to the refuge manager afterwards, and he's like, yeah, we're not a huge fan of them shooting flares over our dry grass.
I am.
And I was like, well, worked out well for me.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. Yeah, I'm happy to share the story, and willing to share with anyone that wants to hear it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you letting us be a part of it. It
was fun to have you guys over, and we ate good while you were there.
Had a lot of great laughs. Yeah, Mitch's dad's a good cook, and Mitch is always a camp cook.
Yeah.
He's a good freaking cook, man.
It was awesome. It was good to have you guys
Thank you.
there.
You're welcome.
You're a good
Thank you for cooking.
camp patron.
I am. I'm a very supportive. Oh yeah, you cooked the crap out of that.
It'll be interesting now that our first podcast we did was for draw odds.
Yeah.
And now that that's over, we got an elk tag and mule deer tags. So Mom, Jeff, my 3-year-old's going, my wife's going, and I'm going. So it's like this will be interesting to see how deer camp goes, what kind of meals we get, what kind of sleep we get, taking the 3-year-old for the first time, and that'll be awesome. I don't know about the 7-year-old. I don't know if he's going to go yet. We have to talk to his mom.
Yeah. I convinced myself prior to the draw that I don't need to look because I know I'm not going to draw anything.
I know you were like, oh, it's fine. It's not
It's
a big
fine,
deal.
man. I'm not going to draw anything. Well, I drew what I earned. I had the points for the bow tag this year. And
Yeah,
That's how
that'll
it
be
goes.
awesome.
You're
But-
either disappointed by not getting what you thought you were going to get, or you get exactly what you thought you'd get.
I think I'm kind of disappointed that we drew it just because now it's competing with the Mount Emily bull tag.
That Shelby drew.
Yeah, that Shelby drew. And I'm not afraid to say that tag because everybody already knows about it. And she got it with 6 points.
Yeah, we got a spike doe tag for Central Melrose, which is second choice, like almost a gimme. And then we got our mule deer tag, and then we got the Tioga muzzleloader tag.
Yeah.
Which I'm jacked for.
Yeah. Well, we got another tag I even forgot about. We're going to be hunting elk in January.
Yeah, well,
Heck,
we
yeah.
might not be.
Yeah, if we're successful in September.
Which one did you guys do? The Tioga one?
Late
Yeah.
season.
That's a
bow
tough one,
tag.
though.
It's going to be tough, but you can find bulls.
Oh, yeah, they're out.
Yeah.
But it's only like a 6%
Well,
success rate.
what I like
or
about
10%.
that one is if you find a nice sunny day,
they're out.
They're out.
Yeah, in January, they're just
Yeah.
sunning themselves.
Yeah, just-
and the traffic is way low
Yeah. The hardest part is finding a nice sunny day
in January.
in January.
Well, roads you can pass.
Yeah. I'm going to have to buy my Waco permit this year. There's no way around
We're
it.
buying one, too,
Yep.
for the house, just because we have two muzzleloader tags.
Yep.
And
Yep. So, all right, man. Well, that's I think that's a podcast. So,
Perfect.
And thanks for the awesome story and for sharing with the audience here. Is there anything you want to add, Mitch, before we get going here?
No, you guys have told this story, and that's what this is.
Yeah.
The Bighorn sheep story.
Yeah. Well, you were a part of it. So.
Yeah, you guys, you have it under control.
it was awesome to have you
Yeah.
guys there, though. I mean, it was cool. And
I enjoyed the laughs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
can't
was
think of
fun.
another hunt that I've, like, it just of all the hunts I've been on and all the successful and non-successful harvests that I could be like, let me tell you a story. Like, a lot of them are like, we hiked over the ridge, we sat where the deer were going to be, we glassed and we shot them.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
This didn't go like that.
no, it was a little different.
So, all right, guys. Well, let's wrap this thing up, and
Cool.
I'm sure I'm going to have one or both of you on the podcast in the future. So, thanks for coming on to the show, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
All right, thank you.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
All right, guys, that's this week's episode of the podcast. I really do hope you enjoyed it. If you can, leave a 5-star review. And from the last episode with Bob, he's giving away a Ready Nutrition system. This is a couple $100 system that we're going to give away to one lucky listener. We're going to do it live, but one way that I want to get you entered is by leaving a 5-star review with a comment. Let me know something that you've done. How did you pay it forward to something? For a lot of folks, it's not about being able to go out and say I did something, but if you did something good for somebody, I want to hear about it, and I want to enter you in the contest. So let me know. And now's the time to brag. Now's the time to say, hey, I helped this guy on the side of the road. I gave this guy a tip on where this buck was. Whatever it is, tell me some of the good things that are happening out there, especially if you're one of them. And love to hear what you guys have to say. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.